Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and I have something to decree. It is as follows. XRP is king. If you're not looking at your screen, it's worth taking a look. That's a funny picture. That is Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse, the king. I don't know who did this. I don't know who made this. I found this. And you know what? I'm probably going to make this a thumbnail. I'm probably going to make this the thumbnail of the video. In the title, XRP is the king. It's befitting of what will be discussed in this latest Moon Lambo Hot Jam. And that phrase, let's give credit where it's due, it actually comes from an XRP chart analyst. And he shared some perspective about XRP specifically, and he summarized everything at the end by just writing, XRP is the king. And it just made me think of this picture, which I've had for a while. I may have shared it one other time on the channel. And I was like, yep, that is about right. And XRP is absolutely going to go ballistic this market cycle as far as I'm concerned. In fact, I've got a chart that I haven't talked about in a long time. I've been spending a fair amount of time talking about XRP, BTC, and some other stuff. What about XRP dominance? Let me show you how XRP dominance market-wide, what it's looked like over the last decade. And it will blow your little mind like it did mine. Because if history is to repeat, unless, you know, the famous last words, this time is different, if this time is not different, then what we're about to see is going to be explosive and melt faces. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, we're going to be pretty XRP heavy in this video, but I did want to highlight this first. This comes from chart analyst Tony Severino, and he wrote Bitcoin Fractal 2016/2017 versus 2023/2024. It does look similar, and so he's noting this particular fractal right here, as described via the text that I just shared with you, looks the same as this fractal that's forming right here. So, again, unless you think this time is different, I do not think this time is different. I really do not. And then there's that fun fact of, you know, Bitcoin and the crypto asset class moving in tandem with the stocks, the stock market. And, you know, if you look at an index, the one that it tracks most closely would be the NASDAQ 100. But still, broadly speaking, the big moves in tandem with the stock market. And the S&P 500 hit a new all-time high earlier this year. And since then, it's hit a number of new all-time highs. There's been a bit of a pullback also. But fun data point, and I was mentioning this a lot at the time, it happened and a few times since then, but it's worth knowing. Historically, dating back to something like 1950 or 1960, the last 11 times in market cycles that the S&P 500 has hit a new all-time high, if you fast forward 1 year out, it's higher. On average, it's higher by 16% compared to the moment where it hits a new all-time high. And these asset classes move in tandem. Crypto assets are risk-on assets. Equities, risk-on assets. That's why the stock market and crypto gets treated the same. Absolutely. So it's not like it's some sort of guarantee, but almost every time, 10 out of the last 11 times that happened with the S&P 500, people are pretty happy a year later. I think we're going to have a crazy blow off top, and yes, XRP is going to be a part of it. Here's a post from Charting Guy. Buying Bitcoin at $60,000 versus $70,000 doesn't matter. It's going to $150,000. Buying ETH at $3,000 versus $4,000 doesn't matter. It's going to $14,000. Buying XRP at 50 cents versus 70 cents doesn't matter. It's going to $5 plus. All this bull market cycle. Zoom out and learn to chart. On that last point, I will say, no, I refuse. I do not want to be a chart guy. I appreciate the good chart guys out there. I do not want to do that. I have no interest in doing that. It bores me to tears, but I appreciate the hard work that people put into this. But other than that, certainly a bullish sentiment here, but the point is not lost on me. And I think it does make sense. That's why dollar cost averaging makes sense, frankly. So whether you buy at 50 cents or 70 cents, the point is, yeah, the people that bought at 50 rather than 70, you're going to have a greater returns. But the point is, it's going to be ridiculous by the time it hits the top anyway. We're fine. Quit worrying about trying to buy stuff at the perfect price. The point is having exposure. Understand it's a messy process in the sense that you cannot time the bottom, but you beat yourself up over it, don't you? Oh, you bought it and it went down. Oh my God. That's what humans do. Every human's done that. Now, I don't do that anymore, but I have done it in the past. I just learned it doesn't make sense, and so I just don't anymore. I just feel good having exposure. I haven't done that in a long time, over half a decade. But I get it. It's a very normal human thing here. And by the way, I wanted to highlight this too. So he's predicting ETH's going to go to $14,000 this cycle, and it very well may. I've seen lots of predictions between $10,000 and $20,000. I've heard some a little bit higher. So let's say it does. Let's say it goes to $14,000. Now, we know that before the SEC nonsense, XRP had a history of being on the coattails of ETH in terms of market cap, just right behind it. There had been a handful of instances where XRP actually did supplant ETH and was, albeit for brief moments in time, XRP was number 2 in terms of market cap, right? So let's say that those days are gone. I'm not saying they're gone, but let's just, for hypothetical, let's say that XRP is not going to be even close to that anymore. What type of picture does that paint for XRP, which of course is going to participate in this market cycle? Well, let's think about this. If ETH goes to $14,000, I crunched the numbers before recording this, that's roughly a $1.65 trillion market cap for ETH at $14,000. Let's just imagine that XRP, let's just say for the sake of a hypothetical, that XRP, the days of it competing for that number 2 spot, they're over. They're never coming back. They're over. You understand that even if XRP got just a third of that market cap, that would be $10 XRP. And if you're talking about that much money in the space where Bitcoin can get that high to 150, resulting in enough money sloshing through the space that ETH can get to 14,000, and you're telling me that XRP can't get to a third of what ETH is at? That doesn't make sense. I mean, you're talking about somewhere in the vicinity of close to a 3-fold increase for XRP compared to the all-time high of close to $4 6 years later. That doesn't sound insane to me. If enough money flows in to get those prices for Bitcoin and ETH to happen, you're telling me XRP can't hit that? And then if you're talking about XRP, if it is going to actually compete with ETH, although I don't know for sure if it's going to, because with the SEC stuff, I mean, some momentum was lost. There's less money in XRP today than there would have been, because there were years of the SEC lawsuit resulting in years of people who otherwise would have bought XRP. They just bought other stuff or didn't buy anything. So that's true. The price that we're seeing today, it's lower than it otherwise would have been. We can't know for sure to what degree, but probably a lot, to be honest with you. So maybe XRP is able to compete, but if it got back up there, if it got to, in terms of market cap equivalent to the equivalent of ETH hitting 14 grand, you're talking about $30 XRP. And some people do think that's plausible for this cycle, and I can't say they're wrong. I don't think that's crazy. Now, the higher you eat for each dollar up you predict, the less confident I am it's going to happen, but I don't think that's in crazy land. If you're talking about, I mean, it's if saying $5 to me, that just seems like hyper conservative, which is why I want to sell there, because I've been holding it for over 6 years and I bought so much up front, I front loaded my risk. That's what I did. I spent more money than most people would have been willing to. I front loaded the risk so that when it gets to those levels, even though that won't entice most people, I'll sell there. And then I think as a result, there's less of an opportunity of me, getting the dollar figure that I want to get. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I'll start scaling out, sell most of it, if not all of it, between $5 and $8. I mentioned recently that, there's a chance I'll hold on to a chunk of it well beyond $8. Should it present itself? Nobody knows for sure what the price will be. But if that happens, I might hold on to a chunk if I've already achieved life-changing wealth from crypto before that point. Because at that point, it's like, why not just let it ride if it doesn't matter anyway? Because, let's say, hypothetically, I had $1 billion net worth, and then on top of that $1 billion net worth, I had what I have in crypto right now. I wouldn't care. I'd just be like, yeah, whatever, just let it ride. I'd be willing to take on more risk again because it's inconsequential at that point. It would be a small percentage of my net worth. So if I'm able to cash out enough in crypto into United States dollars, I might be like, screw it, let's let it ride. And XRP historically lags the market, so I might have that opportunity, and I would love for that to be the case since it's my largest individual holding. I would love that flexibility. But if it runs sooner than that, I'm going to feel more inclined to sell between that $5 to $8 window, most or all of it. Anyway, that's what I was thinking. Here's a post from Chart Analyst Cryptos, and he says, I think the XRP bottom is in. However, if we do see market sell-off next week, I think we should see more of a double bottom formation before we flip bullish for good. XRP. And he shared that a few days ago, but I just wanted to highlight that. Nobody knows for sure if the bottom's in, but there are a lot of indicators that are very positive. In fact, here, actually, I was going to show this slightly later, but let's just pull this up now since I'm thinking about it. This is the XRP, market cap XRP dominance chart here. And we're all the way down here. Sad, 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 right? XRP 1.24% of the market. That's it. 1.24%. But it used to be over 30%. What has gone wrong? Nothing's gone wrong. It's a bigger market, so it's going to be harder to get it's going to be harder for XRP to ever be that share of the market, ever get 30%. But we don't need it to be. There's more competition now. It doesn't matter. In terms of dollars, it could be way more than it ever was before. So that's what actually matters. But the reason I'm highlighting this is, and look, this is a chart that goes back, 10 years, early parts in 2014, even though it's not labeled. And look at what happened when XRP dominance was low. What happened? You have major bursts to the upside. Here's 2014. Dominance low. It's the same as... This is the same thing you see on the XRP BTC chart, but this is an XRP market cap dominance chart. It's the same story. It's another metric to look at, which is why all the naysayers, they are going to be proven disastrously wrong. Unless the entire asset class is going to crumble because there's some sort of global negative event, okay, fine. But then it wouldn't be XRP specific. But look at this. When the dominance was this low, looks like it was 0.37% of the market, it burst. And it got up to as high as what, about 20%? 2014 into 2015? That's crazy. And then you can see here, it's at the bottom again. 2017, burst to the upside. 2020 into 2021, at a bottom, burst to the upside. And I wouldn't have expected last market cycle the percentage to get as high since it's a more crowded space now in crypto anyway. But I would have expected it to go higher, but the SEC was attacking all of crypto, and specifically Ripple and XRP holders, so is what it is. But here's the fourth time in the last decade where we're at this low. We are right here. It looks abysmal to those that don't understand what this actually means. This is, roughly speaking, the moment right before the market goes. It's another way of looking at this. So I'll keep tracking this metric too. I just haven't talked about this one in a long time, but I should, so I'm going to moving forward. It's not just XRP BTC. It all lines up, and we're in a bull market. That data point lines up. Everything lines up. This is an incredible time to be in crypto. We're very fortunate. Here's a post from chart analyst Dark Defender, and this is the one I was referencing at the outset of the video. It's an XRP USD price chart, and he's noting the historical pattern between 2013 and 2017. And he says, hey everyone, the 2013 through 2017 pattern, a historical reference we've all been familiar with, is about to take a thrilling turn. Brace yourselves for the exciting changes that the next 3 months will bring, as they will be unlike anything we've seen before. I know. How many years have we waited? For 6 years. XRP is done. XRP is dead. But the reality is that the old king will die soon. And the heir, told to be the black swan for a long time, will take over the throne. XRP price lows on the main support line of the previous pattern. So I think it means it lies on the support. He says, we will see a breakout above the Ichimoku clouds towards $1 first. XRP is the king. And my friends, history repeats. And if it doesn't repeat perfectly, it kind of rhymes with itself. What do we keep seeing again and again and again, but still some idiot sticks will say, no, not this time though, because reasons, that's why. Because reasons. All right, cool guy. Bunch of idiots. But we're going to get ours. We're going to get ours. It's absurd to think that's not what's probable. And I will continue to acknowledge, like, nobody knows for sure, but the people that don't think that's probable, I don't think they know what the hell they're talking about. Or they do, and they're being intellectually dishonest because they don't like XRP because of reasons. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.